Hello, 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 Crossroads, witches and other interesting magical beings. So happy to see all of you back that are returning, and to those in which are new to my channel, thank you so much. I'm Taren. I've been doing this a very long time. Southern Conjurer, traditional witchcraft, folk witch, however you want to label me, I'll go with it type thing. So today we're going to talk about why, when, how, where did candle magic become the go-to? Because when I was a young witch, that sounds terrible, and I'd like to also say when I was a young witch, we had to walk uphill in the snow both ways to full moon coven. No, I was thinking, when I was younger, I can remember, 30 years ago, candles really weren't, they were part of magic, but they didn't have the prominence, that was there. And I was on TikTok, and if you'd like, go follow me on TikTok, please. And I saw these spells with candles, spell candle, and that really is that how limiting. Not that I don't think a good spell candle doesn't have its place, but I think there's so many other things that work more effectively for certain particular types of magic, and to stop and in tune and don't just go straight to candles. I just shot a video, and that's a shout out. Go watch my water video talking about all of the different ways you can use water, how powerful water is, what a conduit water is for energies, and that we've got work from a scientific level. We have it magically, it's historically referenced, it's water, and that there's so many different ways you can use water in spellcrafting. And again, there's a video that's either come out before this or is going to come out next. I'm not quite sure with my scheduling. Y'all, I try, is what I'm going to say. All right. And when I think about using water, it also sits off that wonderful line of elemental magics. Air, water, fire, earth. And how powerful each of these elements are. When we use air, this is that breathing life into your dreams, and you can take just your words and put them onto the current of the air and visualize them send them off into the universe, and how a lot of times that, again, all we do is burn candles, and they're like, no, it's all the elements. No, it's a candle. Until you've connected to each of those elements within that candle, it's still just a candle. All right, next, earth. What I was just talking about, that grounding, that deeping. And I find with a lot of folk magic traditions, we do love to bury things. I do love giving it to earth. And when we're doing that, of course, we're being mindful of our ecosystem. We're being mindful of what we've got in our little jar, bag, whatever your little working spell kit is, that it is all things that are biodegradable and kind to Mother Earth. And I know sometimes if I'm going to bury it out in the yard, I am from the get-go mindful of my ingredients. I know I'm going to bury this. So there are things, like I won't wrap it in tinfoil at that point. Whereas if I'm going to freeze it, I like to wrap it in tinfoil. And remember to always wrap it shiny side in. We want to keep it in, all right? We're doing that good working where you want to hold it in place, freeze it. shiny side in on your tin foil. The other thing, and I did talk about this where I brought out my personal crystals. I have a collection, and that I've worked with some of these pieces of quartz for several years now. And so I feel it. When I sit it in my hand, that stone, that rock is familiar to me, and I'm familiar to it. How important it is to work with your crystals. It's not about just sitting them up on your shelf and everything, and you know, every 6 months dusting them off. It's actively using them, getting them in your life, ways that you can do that, where I think energy grids, and there's so many different, this is like tarot card spreads. How many tarot card spreads are there? I don't know. How many tarot card readers are there? How many energy grids are there? I don't know. How many people who work energetically with stones? You know, there is no this, oh, I got to learn an energy grid. You need to learn and understand the basics of creating a grid. You need to work with some stones that you understand how the two of you work together. Working with stones, rocks, crystals is often like wearing a perfume. And what I mean is your personal body chemistry may not work well with that particular stone. However, with this stone over here, it works freaking awesome. It's like some perfumes don't smell good, some colognes don't smell good on different folks because their body chemistry and that smell just sort of go, ooh. Whereas other times they put on a perfume or a cologne and their body chemistry enhances it, and you're like, oh my goodness, yeah, I can feel that, where the aromatherapy becomes an actual physical sensation. And that is what you're looking for when you work with your crystals, where again, you have this relationship with this particular stone works well for me for doing this. It's not the stone that's on the list. The list is a good starting point. I get a little when it comes to list because they're not this is the list as it is written, so shall it be done. These are how someone else, these stones, these rocks, these crystals, they worked with them, did a little research, found out some other people's most popular responses, and compiled a list. That may or may not work for you. So it's about spending time and really developing that. And a lot of times within another thing I think about, you know, where it's like the use of candles, I'm a bit of a plant witch. I would go outside and gather different fauna, different plants, and create a wreath, a swag, a little bundle, depending on where my brain goes and when I walk outside and what I find. And as I put each piece on, that is my spell work. And then once I've created it, I sit it out somewhere. There are so many different things we can do beyond light a candle. And again, like I said, I really appreciate good candle magic, all right? What is it? The Master Guide to the Art of Candle Burning. I have to go look this up, but in the 1930s, Henry Gamache wrote the book that got put in all the occult books and why we use the candles the way we do and the colors that we use. So it's not like it's an ancient thing. He wrote the book in the 1930s. It's a good book. I like it. I'm not throwing shade, but do not think this is like all of antiquity. There was a time in many sections of our history where having a candle was an absolute privilege, Candles were expensive, not everybody got them, and the idea you would just sort of blow one on spell work they would have never ever considered, you know, and that this is something that we do have access to, but again, do we really need all the candles that we're using, or is the commodification of our community telling us we need to buy more to burn more candles, because if we burn it, then we got to go buy more. You know, it's not necessarily sustainable. And rethinking our own personal magic and how this knowledge applies to you, you know. And so I hope this helps you with thinking about beyond candles in your spell work. Thank you so much to those which stayed to the very end. I very much appreciate it. I am going to say, of course, if you have bought one of my books, please go to Amazon and leave me a review. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. If you haven't got any of my books, hey, I'm a best-selling author. You can go to Amazon.com and put in Taren, T-A-R-E-N-S, and my books will come up. You can also go to houseofwitchcraft.com, where you'll find my books, and you'll also find out things in which the House of Witchcraft itself has going on, as we have our 13 moons. We have been working on revamping that program, listening to our feedback. We're trying to make it so that each person that utilizes the program really does have an experience where it's just, we're flipping it over to the 13 Moons Academy, because we're going to be opening up other coursework. Because yes, I heard you all. You want to learn other things. And I'm like, okay, I have been working and am still trying to do that, while at the same time working on creating the short-term rental space. So I hear you, and we're working on it. I'm really blessed. I have a great team behind me that makes all of the cool, nifty, techie stuff work for me. And I do want to give a shout out. I don't want to ever give the illusion that I'm the smart witch in the room when it comes to technology, social platforms. But I do want to say I was smart enough to sit beside them. That's some old witch wisdom right there. All right, witches, get out of here, fly your brooms, have a bright, blessed day. And as always, amen, blessed be, ashe, and a bobo.